Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Are you ready? Okay, let we start, right? Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alright, welcome to the ICT class. Right, this is our first class, right? Our first meeting and our first class of the ICT, right? So, of course, today we will learn our first topics, right, in the ICT subject, right? Okay, first topic is about hardware and software. Alright, most of you, I think, already know, right? What is the software? What is the hardware? Because currently we are in the digital eras, right? So everybody in the in the daily activities, you always using the gadget, right? Such as handheld or phone or computer or laptop and so on. So that is related in our topics today. Alright. In these topics, alright, we will learn to define hardware, alright, such as a physical component of a computer systems. Alright, and then we will learn to identify internal hardware device, and then we will learn to identify of course, we have internal, then we have external device, hardware device, and then we also learn to define software. Okay, software means that as a program to control the operation of a computer or processing of electronic data. Alright. We also will learn to identify the type of software. Alright, we also have two type of software here, right? And then we will define application software and also define the system software. Okay, alright. So this is what we learn today. Alright, any question? Alright. Okay, now we go to the hardware first, right? Alright, look at the slide. Alright. Okay, actually, what is a hardware actually? Okay? Hardware is a physical component which is make up the computers. Each item hardware have their specific role in a computer system. Right? Hardware components can either be internal or external. So as I said, right, hardware can be categorized into two types. Right? One is internal and another one is external. Alright. Okay. Actually, what we can conclude, what is hardware is, right? Actually, anything a component of the computer that we can feel, we can see, we can feel. Then the most important, we can touch. Right? That is, we call it as a hardware. Alright. See, feel, and touch. That is hardware. Okay. Alright, look at on the picture on your computer's picture on the slide. Okay, we have power supply, and then we have CPU, graphic card, RAM, NIC, and then we have the set of PCs, right? And then we have the optical drive, storage, motherboard, right? Okay, all of these we call it as internal hardware device. Okay, internal means that or inside the PC. Okay, all of this we call it PC. The big one, the big box, we call it as a PC. Right? Sometimes people call CPU. Okay, but CPU actually is the brain of the computers. Alright. So other people said is a PC. Okay. Alright. Okay, next. Alright, next we go for internal hardware device. Right. Internal hardware device. First internal hardware device is a CPU. Alright. Actually, CPU acts like a brain, right? Like human, right? Human have a brain, so computer also have a brain. That brain we call it as a CPU, right? This CPU actually carry out of calculations to complete software instruction. Right, inside the CPU we have ALU. arithmetic logic unit. So the brain of computer always just recognize arithmetic, logic, arithmetic and logic. Okay. Alright. Alright. Next we have motherboards. So motherboard actually full of include full of circuit, right? Circuit that attached with the board, right? Okay. So the definition is the motherboard is circuit board which is connected to the main component of the computer system, right? So all the computer system we will connect into this circuit board. Okay. So next we have memory. Okay, memory. Look at here, the picture here. The picture here is a RAM. We call it a RAM, right? Memory also have three types, right? We have main memory, we have secondary memory, and then we have a third memory. Okay, so main memory is like this, RAM, and then we have ROM, and then secondary memory we have hard disk, and third memory we have USB drive and so on, right? Flash drive. Okay, so memory actually any data or instruction that are processed to be processed by CPU must be placed in the main memory. Okay. Alright, next we have graphic card. Alright, if you are gamers, right? Gamers, you already knows about these graphic cards, right? What is graphic card use? Right, actually graphic card is a device that attached to the motherboards enable computer to process and display graphics. Alright, sometimes motherboard have embedded with the graphics, right? If you buy a PC or laptops, so sometimes the graphics card have embedded into the board. Okay, so actually if you are become video editor or graphic editor or gamers, right, you need to high performance of graphic cards, right, to run your programs. Right, next is we have a sound card. Okay, actually this sound card enable computer to process the sounds, right? Like what, when you play your MP3 on your computer, so this sound card will process and make it and transfer to the speaker, right? Process and transfer all of that into the speaker, so your speaker will come out with the sounds, right? So sound card actually is a device that attached to the motherboard to enable computer to input, process and deliver sounds. Right, next we have the internal hard disk. As I said before, right, internal hard disk, we sometimes we call it as a secondary memory or secondary storage, right? Hard disk drive is drive device that used to store information like software and files, right? And then the capacity of hard drive range from gigabyte to terabyte. Okay, now this we have I think maximum for the normal PC users is around 1 to 2 terabyte. Okay. Alright, next we have network card, right? In other words, sometimes people call it as a network interface card. Okay, so this network card provide the computer with networks either through wireless signal or physical cable connection. Okay. Alright, normally when you buy a laptop, so you no need to have a network card, right? So because laptop have built in the network card in the board, right? Okay, next we have optical drive. Alright, actually this optical drive allow for optical disc to run on the computer, and also some optical drive are able to write and burn data into the disk. Right. Look back this. Look back in the optical drive. Actually, I don't know whether you still use this optical drive or not, because currently we have more choice of drive. We have USB drive. We have memory card, and we also have a big atau a big of secondary storage, so that we don't need we don't need the optical drive to support the storage. Alright, nowadays we have almost 2 terabyte, alright, to store files and software. Alright, next we have power supply. Okay, before we go to the power supply, any questions? No questions, so we go next. Alright.